We're going to do a little bit of humor today. We have seen a definite surge in our Big Grumpy inspiration that's been shared lately. It seems like a lot of people are loving Big Grumpy Cat. I have the set here in front of me. It's this guy. Comes with the coordinating die, and he's holding that sign. So a lot of the sentiments actually work great. I did not know that this was coming when I made these sentiments, but I want to be where the people aren't is one of them, and that is certainly applicable now. Also, introverts unite separately in your own homes. That's another favorite of mine. Then my alone time is for your own safety. Also one that I will use on my children. So Big Grumpy Cat, it has some great different sentiments in it. And then we also have the original Big Grumpy that features a bear and the same sized sign, so the different sentiments fit in both of those interchangeably. So what I did to add a little humor, because I know a lot of us are at home, some of us are still essential. Thank you to all of you essential workers that are out there helping us survive in our hospitals, in our grocery stores. And I know a lot of us, though, are at home, and we are dealing with this with some humor. So these are for you today. I have some special sentiments. This is going to be available as a free download. So this is what it's going to look like when you print it. I have spaced them out, and I'm going to show you how to add Big Grumpy over the top today, making sure that that sentiment is perfectly centered in his sign. So it was a little, not hard, but I had to think about how this would work, because you don't want to just cut the sentiment out and put it over the sign. Well, I guess you could, but it doesn't quite look as finished that way. So I'm going to give you a tip on how to get Big Grumpy stamped exactly centered over these sentiments. But first, I'm going to read them to you. So I had some help from some friends. So if you guys recognize some of your sentiments here, they did help me come up with these, some of these ideas. So this one, the first one says, "You with the jeans on. Why?" I love that one. I will stand up for you, because I did put pants on and they are actually jeans. So I guess I am breaking my own rule, but most days if I'm not going anywhere, it is going to be pajama pants or yoga pants or whatever you want to call them, workout leggings, that kind of thing. Another one says, "Stay home. I've been training for this my whole life." The next one says, "I thought my house was a mess for lack of time." Nope. A lot of us are finding that out, that we use the time excuse for why our house isn't clean, but it really has nothing to do with time, because now we've been granted a lot of time and the house is still a mess. Another one says, "Social distancing, something I'm good at." Is shampoo essential? Asking for a friend. And then last, reminder, 9 p.m. is the time to take off your day pajamas and put on your night pajamas. So I hope you get a chuckle out of these. You can find them on the Tailored Expressions website. Again, they are a free download. You just need to be logged into your account. So when you log in, across the top, you will see our navigation bar, and there is a little button you can click that says Get Inspired. It's going to be under there. It says TE Fans Only. Just remember, if you click that link and you're not logged in or don't have an account, you'll need to create an account before you can download the sentiments, but they are free. I'm going to show you now how we can get them to work with the Big Grumpies that we have. Okay, so here are the sentiments that I showed you before, and this is exactly how they'll print. I printed this on cardstock, and then you'll want to cut them apart before you get started. So you're going to cut down the middle at 4 1/4, and then you're going to trim here in between the sentiments. Now here is how I have them already trimmed for you guys, so we can kind of skip that part. But the tip I'm going to show you, I've showed several times in videos. I use this for a lot of our stamps, but it's really easy, and I thought it might be helpful to see it actually happening live instead of kind of a video where we have it edited and shortened. So the way this works is you're going to take a piece of window transparency. I have one here that is cut slightly shorter than the length of my MISTI here. And I have a piece of purple tape that I'm going to tape down to my paper. Now I have run out of grid line paper, so I've started just putting paper in the back there. I need to get to the office for some essentials for crafting because I am short on a lot of stuff. I ran out of adhesive yesterday, so hopefully you guys aren't running out of those essentials. Okay, so now I have this hinged piece that I've created here in my MISTI, and I'm going to take my stamp. So here's Big Grumpy. Set him up on in the middle of that piece of acetate there and pick him up with the lid. Now I'm going to stamp that down. I have some Stazon black ink here, and I'm going to stamp Big Grumpy onto the acetate. All right, so there he is. We're not going to move the stamp at all. We're going to leave it right where it is. But now we are going to use this hinged piece to line up our sentiments. So you can see I have one of them here. This one is the Stay Home. I've been training for this my whole life. I'm going to slip that underneath the acetate piece here and line up the sentiment within the sign until I have it just where I want it. And I can kind of pick it up, shift it around underneath there until I feel like I have it perfectly straight. That looks good. Maybe a little bit, that question mark there is a little close to his paw. So just a little bit of shifting. Now I want to get this acetate piece out of the way. So I'm going to hold down that piece that I have in place behind the acetate, my cardstock, and then I'm going to take my magnet and make sure it stays in the same place there. Now the acetate piece is going to stay flipped up because now I want to take my Oreo ink. This is our Copic compatible ink, and I'm just going to stamp Big Grumpy again and place him down, this time over my cardstock piece that's already arranged in exactly the right spot. I'm going to go ahead and do that twice. It stamped perfectly the first time, but the sentiments are quite a bit darker when they get printed with a inkjet or toner printer. They're a little bit darker than the Oreo ink, so stamping it twice makes it look more consistent, like they were both stamped. So that was pretty easy, right? Now we can do that with the remainder of the sentiments that we cut apart. So just aligning those underneath the acetate until they're just right in the spot where you want them. Picking that up, placing your magnet down, and stamping Big Grumpy. And like I said, you can do this with lots of our stamps. I recently showed this with those little marshmallow bunnies, how to get their tails and bow ties and eyes all lined up. This was the trick that I used for that too.